Welcome to TechScope. Today we're going to talk about how to write better prompts for generating structured JSON data. If you work with AI, you know that getting clean, usable data can be a real challenge. So in this explainer, we're going to unlock the secret to writing prompts that deliver that perfectly structured JSON pretty much every single time. You know the feeling, right? You ask the AI for something specific, data you can actually use in an app or a workflow, and what you get back is this big wall of conversational text. I mean, it's friendly and all, but it's a complete mess to actually parse and use. It is a huge headache. But thankfully, there is a much, much better way. So let's really break down the problem. See, the core issue is that our normal everyday language is it's squishy. It's full of ambiguity. And AI doesn't understand what you mean like a person does. It's just really, really good at recognizing patterns. So when our prompts are vague, the AI has to guess what we want. And that guesswork, that's what leads to those messy, totally inconsistent results. Take a classic example. You give it a simple prompt like, write about marketing. You'll probably get back a nice little essay. And while that might be interesting to read, it's completely useless if you need to plug that information into an application. That lack of structure makes trying to automate anything a total nightmare. And this quote, doesn't it just hit the nail on the head? Herding digital cats. That's exactly what it feels like. You're trying to get this clean, predictable data, but instead you're just chasing down this jumbled mess of text. It's so inefficient, and let's be honest, it's super frustrating. So, what is the solution? What's the secret weapon? Well, it's something called JSON prompting, and this is your key to getting absolute clarity and control over what the AI gives you back. It's a way to transform your requests from these vague suggestions into precise machine-readable instructions. Now, don't let the name scare you. At its heart, JSON prompting is actually really simple. You're just organizing your prompt into a structure using keys and values. Think of it less like you're doing complex coding and more like you're just filling out a really clear form for the AI. You're giving it a blueprint, not just a vague feeling. And the difference in precision is it's night and day. Look, a normal prompt like, write a tweet about dopamine detox, is a pretty loose request. But the JSON prompt, that's like giving the AI a precise GPS coordinate. It specifies the task, the topic, and even the style. There is absolutely zero room for misunderstanding. But why is this so much more effective? I mean, what's really going on here? Well, it's because you're finally starting to speak a language the AI was built to understand. You're aligning your instructions with the very way these models work deep down. Okay, let's break it down. First, it just removes all that guesswork we talked about. But second, and this is the real magic, these big language models are trained on billions of lines of code, on APIs, on all sorts of structured data. A huge amount of that is JSON, so you're giving it a pattern it already recognizes. This sets clear rules for the AI, and here's a cool bonus, it actually forces you to be clearer about what you want in the first place. Okay, enough theory. That's all great, but how do we actually do this? Let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to give you 4 really simple but incredibly powerful techniques you can start using right now to get clean, reliable JSON. All right, here are the 4 keys to mastering this whole thing. First, we're going to ask for a specific structure. Then, we'll use formatting instructions. After that, we'll see how to define nested, more complex structures. And finally, we'll learn how to be really strict with our expectations. So let's dive into each one.
First up, step 1, ask for a specific structure. Don't be vague. You need to explicitly tell the AI, hey, return a JSON object, and I need these exact keys: title, description, and tags. It's like you're handing it a form with the fields already labeled. It creates a perfect skeleton, so there's no doubt about what it needs to fill in.
Step 2. Now, this one is so important, especially if you're building an application. You have to tell the model to respond only in valid JSON format. This one simple instruction stops the AI from adding all that friendly fluff, Sure, here's the JSON you asked for. That's the stuff that will absolutely break your code and your automations. So what happens when you need more organized, more complex data? Well, that's where step 3, defining nested structures, comes in. You can tell the AI to include a whole list of items, and that each item in that list should be its own little package with its own keys. This creates a really clear hierarchy for the AI to follow, which is perfect for more detailed outputs. And finally, step 4. It's time to be strict. Be a stickler for the little details. Adding rules like telling it to wrap everything in a single object, or to only use lowercase for the keys. That's like a final quality check. It ensures the output is perfectly uniform and ready for a machine to read every single time. But hang on. Before you go and try to turn every single prompt you write into JSON, it's really important to understand this isn't a silver bullet for every task. It's a specific tool for a specific job. You have to know when to reach for precision and when to let things get a little chaotic and creative. It really just comes down to choosing the right tool. You're going to reach for JSON when you need precision. Things like data extraction, automation, getting repeatable results. But when you're brainstorming, when you want to be surprised and find some creative sparks, you're better off sticking with natural language. Think of it this way. JSON gives you control. Natural language gives you surprise. You know, using this technique effectively is about more than just learning a bit of syntax. It's really about a fundamental shift in how you think about interacting with AI in the first place. And if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Stop asking the AI for stuff and just hoping for the best. Start specifying exactly what you require. That simple change moves you from being a passive user to being an active director of what the AI creates. I absolutely love this analogy. When you use natural language, you're kind of like a poet. You're sharing feelings, abstract ideas. But with JSON prompting, you become an architect. You are providing a detailed, structured blueprint, and the AI's job is to build precisely to your specifications. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you have the tools to be an architect, how will you use structured prompts to build and not just ask?